What's going on, guys? If I'm starting this YouTube channel, how can I do that without having a video of what's in my bag 2020? Sorry if there's a lot of noises, this table's not the best for this, but we'll start with the bag itself. It is the Manfrotto Mover 50. They have a smaller version, but I got the bigger one for the purpose of fitting my gimbal in here. Now, start with what's in the bag. Open it up here. Just like any standard camera bag, it has these dividers so you can separate what's in it. This may not even be the best setup, but I found it is right now. We'll start up here in this little section. This is kind of like my miscellaneous section. This area is kind of like all the little accessories that I may need, but not always right away. And we'll start with the Osmo Pocket. I got this as a Christmas gift, like I want to say last year, I don't know, but I didn't really use it when I first got it, and then I started using it for the shelf B-roll video. It does almost everything I could want it to do, and it shoots in 4K. I can do a moving time lapse without having to pull out a slider or do something unnecessary. I don't know if you can see it up here. I always keep the ND16 on here because most of the time we are always shooting, I'd say like 98% of the time, we're always shooting in pretty harsh sunlight when we're out on the bikes and stuff. So this has become a lifesaver because it does shoot in 4K and this camera does not. So when I do need 4K so I can punch in later or something, I use this, and it has a, it's not log, but it's the DJI's version of log. So there's that one. Next up we have the Aperture ALMX. I see this in a bunch of YouTube videos. It was 90 bucks. Pretty cool. It has the magnetic diffuser. I'm sure you've seen this before. I've seen it in a bunch of YouTube videos, which is actually why I got it, and I was afraid it might just sit there, but I keep it in my bag all the time because if I'm going to something early morning or the sun starts setting, I have a great sunset picture hung up in my room that I took, or sunrise picture. The sun was at the ocean, so it was lighting up really well, but right in front of me it was super dark, so this, turn it on, it just like gave a quick pop of light, and you can make it warm or cold. And then it has a dimmer on it. So super helpful, always keep this around with me. Next up, well, this is more for, once we get to the lenses, it'll make more sense. But for now, I keep these step-up rings with me for my 50 and my 85. I got tired of only being able to use it on my wide lens, and I tend to switch lenses quite often when shooting. I only have prime, well, no, it's like, my other two lenses are prime. The other one is the 16 to 35. So anyways, step-up rings help you put your filters on your other lenses. Speaking of filters, there's, this is what came on my 85mm. It's the circular polarizer and UV filter. I keep it in the bag in case I ever need it, but again, most of the time it's the ND filter that's on there. Top handle. This isn't always in the camera bag, but if I'm doing video work, I love to keep this on the top of the camera so that I can attach a monitor to it. Low angle shots like that. This was on Amazon, I forget what brand it is, but I think it was fairly cheap, like 30 or 40 bucks. It's pretty durable, we got stuck out in the rain. Next up is the drone. It's the, I have enough room in this pocket for 3 batteries in the charger, controller itself, and also the Mavic Mini itself. Ooh, that's not good. I should probably replace that. I wasn't necessarily like all for the drones. I felt like all the shots started to look the same, but then I got a drone and it's always in my bag. And in the bottom compartment here, my favorite lens of all time right now is my 85mm. And this is where the step-up ring comes in. If you take the lens hood off, I can put this on here, and then I can attach any filter I need that has this 70mm. My filters are 82mm, so this is 77mm to 82. And last but not least, in this compartment here is the camera. I have, believe it or not, I have a 5D Mark II with the 16 to 35mm lens. Now, a lot of you may be asking, why a 5D Mark II? Now, the reason I have never upgraded from this is because I took a very long break and I wasn't really shooting photos as much. Now in the past 3 years, I've been getting back into photography, and this may be upgraded soon. I'm not sure, but I'm a big believer in all these new cameras just came out. They're great, don't get me wrong, they're great cameras, except this T3i that's about to stop recording. Now, I am a big believer in it is not the gear that makes the photos or the image good. This shoots in 1080p with only 24 and 30 frames. I can drop it to 720 if I want 50 frames, which isn't even full slow motion. But that's why I use this for all my slow motion needs. The only thing is that it's wide angle, stuck at a 2.8, which is why I have the ND filters. So if I want like a close-up macro sort of slow motion shot, I can't do it. Anyways, all these cameras are coming out. They're really good. The R5, the A7S III. Yes, we all want them, but I started taking more photos and people like my work just with this. They don't even know what camera I'm using. To them, I'm a professional, which I am, but the point is, I've done a lot of shots over the past 3 years with this camera that have gotten me a lot of work. They don't ask what I'm shooting with it, you know? They like the fact that the end product turns out well, and the reason, there's a lot more to it than just the camera. You have to know the settings you need to use. The lighting is what's going to make the image the most important. I've shot a lot of things on my phone that I get away with. Anyways, that's my reasoning behind the 5D Mark II. Yes, I probably will get an upgrade here soon because I'm going to need to for my professional career in being able to have the 4K option with other lenses. But if you're just starting out, you don't need a super expensive camera to make great images. That was my rant about that. Main camera is the 5D Mark II. Next up. Oh, what I love about this bag is all your camera stuff is on the inside, so, or on the, where it goes on your back. So if you're like me and you have a tendency to forget to zip up the bag, you'll have a better chance at your gear not falling out rather than it being on the back side. You'll notice it a lot quicker. And then it has a top compartment here, which is where, I don't know if the camera can see this, low pro bag. I don't even know if they still make this kind anymore, but just a little pouch that I keep like some AAAs and AA's, and one of my mics takes a 9-volt, so I just like to keep that handy. Oh, there it is. This is for the Ronin. It connects to the monitor. This is not usually in my backpack, but it's good to know it's here because I couldn't find it on set the other day. This is a Lume Cube. I don't know if it's charged. Yeah, Lume Cube. It's another thing just like this. It just helps give you a little more light. This, my friend A-Rule, that's how you spell it on Instagram. He told me about this. Is a $3 screwdriver that has all the different pieces you may need, so that when you're switching plates or everything we take, you always need something. And if I can't find my trusty quarter, then I go to the screwdriver. This is a time-lapse remote. I don't do time lapses as much as I used to, and when I do, I just pull out the Osmo Action now the Osmo Pocket, because it can go on a tripod and does the moving time lapse. But if I do want a little more like professional looking one, I will hook it up to the camera. I did a whole review video on this. If it's still public, you can see it up there. Gaffer tape, always helpful to be able to, when you break stuff. Next up, we have a little air thing so you can clean out your sensor. Always keep one in my backpack, and then I have one on the shelf in here. My other lens I use, if I'm on the bike and I don't want a super heavy lens, or if I'm just going out real quick, I'll throw on the 50mm, super light. I've broken one before, it's cheap to replace. It's not ideal, I'm not saying go break them, but if you're worried about your lens breaking, like I am when I'm on my bike, this is probably a safer option than bringing the super expensive one. Next up is this low pro pouch, because up here in this top compartment, I just had all this stuff everywhere and it got kind of annoying. And I saw this on somebody's video, I forget whose. And here I have a simple, this is just the USB to USB-C. It charges the drone batteries, this light, the Osmo Pocket, and I now carry around an Osmo Action, which is actually being used as the top camera here. This little ball head tripod mount. This actually came with the aperture light. If I need to put it onto like the top handle here or something, when I go do podcasts, this back part is mainly my podcast setup. These are extra batteries. I use what we're shooting on here is the T4i. I like to use that. There are extra batteries for the T4i. When I go out and shoot podcasts, I use that. Actually using one of these to get the audio, but I have two Rode SmartLav Go. I don't know what half the gear I have is called. I just know that it works. Did I miss anything? Yes, sort of. I do have, oh, that's what I got from Think Tank, was the extra batteries for the 5D Mark II. It's just a little battery pouch that goes in here. That's what's in my camera bag. This is what's in my big camera bag. I do have a smaller bag that I'll like bring this camera and like the 50mm. For the most part, if I'm going to like an on-location shoot, this is sort of what I'll bring, plus the extra little LED lights. But as far as camera gear is concerned, this is kind of everything that I will have in my bag. I don't know how to end this. If I'm going to be on YouTube, I have to have a video that says what's in my camera bag. Isn't that like a rule? Yeah. I don't know. We'll end it there. I don't know. Yeah. So that is what is in my camera bag. Outside of the lights that I'm using to light this, and the Osmo Action that's being used for that, and the T4i that's being recording this video. I may upgrade this 5D Mark II sometime soon, but until then, be sure to like, share, subscribe, and I'll see you on the next video.